Welcome to the Penthouse Pod, your new talk show bringing you the ins and outs of owning your first home, your second home. If you are an advanced seller, a beginner homeowner, we've got the ins and outs for you. And every episode is a new guest. I'm Yael Geffen, your host. I'm the CEO of Lou Geffen Sotheby's International Realty. And this episode is called All Roads Lead to Home. We have a very special guest in studio today. Her name is Nondumiso Ncapai, and she is the managing executive of Absa Home Loans. We are so excited to have her in studio. Nondumiso, welcome.
Thank you, Yael. It's great being here.
We are so excited because you are our first guest on our new podcast. And I was very selective at who I wanted to choose. And when I met you, I was like, she's my gal. So, how did a woman like you land up in this incredible position at Absa?
Oh, thank you, Yael. I actually think I'm incredibly blessed. You know, when I reflect on my career, in fact, let me go back a couple of years, but I won't tell you what year, otherwise you'll guess my age. But just going back a couple of years, you know, I remember sitting in a technology environment, beautiful technology environment. It was fast-paced. You know, we did so much to ensure there was impact in the environment in which I was working in at the time. And I guess, you know, as it happens in life, you pause one day and you reflect on where you want to be, right? I reflected. And I was looking for change. I think I'd gotten to a point where I was comfortable. Being too comfortable is very uncomfortable. At least that's what I thought at the time. And as it happens, you know, when you think about opportunity, then you see opportunity. And the opportunity came, and I joined the lovely organization Absa many years ago. And my career started off in digital because I was in a technology environment. I joined in the digital space, and there it happened in 2014. The opportunity came for the mortgage business, and I went into it. I guess I was very open to opportunities at the time. And it's quite interesting that when I reflect on my career, you know, it shifted from a career that was very much related to technology, and I thought, where is the demand, etc. But actually it shifted to purpose. It's shifted to purpose. Being in this business, in this industry, which we love so much, it's really deep. It connects you to what housing is all about, especially on the African continent and especially in the SA market that we operate in. So that's been my journey. It's been an incredibly rewarding journey, but not without its challenges, of course. If we have to reflect on challenges as you navigate different environments, change, which did happen along the way. But again, I was very blessed because I had giants on whose shoulders I stood on, and I learned so much. And I continue to learn. I mean, I learn even today from great industry partners such as yourself and many partners that we engage with in the industry. And within the bank itself, it's an incredible bank with so many colleagues. It's a big franchise, it's a big business, and the complexity is obviously very challenging, but it's the complexity that keeps me on my toes and constantly looking to learn.
What I love about your journey is it really resonates with me because I came from a marketing and advertising background and strategy, and then moved into a leadership role, and you came from a digital and techie background, and now you are the head of home loans, and it's just so wonderful to see the journey. And I know that you only started 5 years ago at Absa. That's how young you look.
Oh, I take that as a compliment.
So I see we're both wearing red today. So I do think we look like that Christa Berg song, Ladies in Red. I just happened to, by chance, be wearing your brand colours.
Oh, love it, love it, love it.
But yeah, let's get stuck in with the ins and outs of owning your first home or owning a new home and the road, all roads that lead to home. We all make mistakes, no matter what our positions are, no matter what our industries. I'm sure you have made mistakes in your first home purchase or along the way or being a seller. I've made mistakes. Are you willing to share?
Let me start off with, I made it twice. Twice. In fact, I remember the very first time I was in my early 20s, and I was quite fortunate that at the time I had extra money. It was 5,000 rands. And I was driving down the Joburg Road, big Joburg Road, and there was a big sign, a new development, deposit 5,000 rands. And I thought, well, should I? And then I went for it. And I must say, at the time when I took that decision, all I could think about was the property. I'm going to make money. There's going to be tenants. It's 8 minutes from Sandton. It's easy access to the highway, etc. Let me tell you, Yael, I wasn't thinking about what it means to live in sectional title, that there would be levies to pay, those additional costs, and I didn't factor that into my monthly expenses. So when it did land, I found myself having to put in extra. Of course, I had to cover rates and taxes, etc. So that was the first time. And reflecting on it, I should have asked more questions. What are those costs beyond the cost of servicing a bond? What should I look out for? Can I see the statements? What is the development likely to see with regards to rates and taxes, levies, etc.? I should have asked those questions at the time. But then there's the second time I did it. Yes. I dealt with a estate agent at the time for the second property. And
we're not mentioning names.
No, I'm not mentioning names.
Unless it was us and we did a fabulous job.
I am not mentioning names. The second time, purchasing a beautiful property, which I absolutely love. And I remember when I asked the question, what am I going to pay with levies, And the estate agent said, no, roundabout this amount, etc. I thought, okay, comfortable. I think I've got it now. I'm ready for this. I got in, and as you know, you live in your property and decisions get taken. And in fact, I think the costs increased to at least a third of what I was paying for my mortgage repayments. Now that's high, third. That is more high. Than a third, actually.
That is high.
And when I reflect, look, I must say, because it's important that you look at the financial statements of the body corporate. A well-run body corporate, the money is used quite well. The complex is well managed, it's immaculate, etc. But, those are the things that one needs to think about to say, look, what if decisions are taken that now we need a special levy? Do I have enough? Can I survive? So that was my second mistake. I guess, homes and hearts are very linked. You think about completely. The kitchen, you think about cooking there, etc. And then you forget about everything else.
Oh, yes.
That is so important.
And you almost know immediately when you found that place.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes too. In fact, the first house I ever bought was very interesting. I didn't make a mistake there. I was quite savvy there, but it's because I rented first.
Okay.
And then I knew all the kinks that were the problems with the home because I'd experienced living there. So that was excellent because when it came to wanting to buy the home, I knew all the conditions of the home. So I was well versed to actually say, well, this and this and that, and I know about this, because I'd lived in the home and I'd seen, what the landlord had to fix.
Yeah.
So that was a good experience. But what happens is after any kind of life event, whether it's a divorce or a death or you have to leave immediately for some reason your home, I went through a breakup, and it was a breakup in my engagement, and I had a very limited amount of time to find a home, and I found a place that I fell in love with, but I didn't do my own due diligence, which I teach to people, and that's my role, because of the emotions that I was going through at the time. So instead of getting an inspector to look and see any faults, and I always say, get an inspector, get an engineer, check out everything. Just after I purchased it, I started saying, And some of the things were disclosed, some of them weren't. And, you know, without going all legal, I wanted to just have a home. And even like a year later, I saw the boundary wall was falling apart. And I was just like, how did I not see this stuff, you know? But I think you hit the nail on the head, honestly. Your home and your heart is so linked. And when you land up finding that home, or you're in a situation where you need to find a home quickly, it's a hard purchase, and it can be a quick purchase, and then something takes over psychologically where you don't think rationally sometimes. And that's what I want to share with our audience, is those tips and tricks to look for in being more savvy than yourself and myself at those particular times.
Absolutely. You know, I love your story, Yael, because I think it is so true. It is so true. I mean, you and I are in this industry together, and we know the industry. But it is, when it's personal, because we've made those mistakes, and you talk about, then you notice the issues, and you could have called a property inspector to give you a report, etc. It is so true. In fact, it reminds me, the third time round, I was ready. The third time round.
You see.
I went for that. I went for a property inspector for a new development, which is interesting. I thought, new development, most everything is going to be perfect.
Yes.
I don't need to worry. And she said to me, we'll see. And there the report came. It was thick. But then I knew what I was getting myself into. Then I knew that when it was time to put forward that snag list, because you do have time to put it forward, it was very clear, and it was very specific, and it addressed all the issues that needed to be addressed before moving in. So it does help. It does help. We make mistakes, but we learn from them.
And that's the purpose of the show, actually, to prevent our audience from making those mistakes, these rookie mistakes, and mistakes that we all make along the way, and just to create more savvy buyers and savvy sellers.
Absolutely.